My economics teacher in undergraduate school, he said, listen, one night the earth just tilted a little bit to the left and all the fruits and nuts just rolled right down there into California. They just rolled right in. And here's the thing, when the world corrected that very next morning, they just stayed there. Californians tax everyone for every reason, and I don't even understand why. I don't understand why. But I mean, that's why Ronald Reagan ran for president. Ronald Reagan lived in California. He knew that if he made more than 2 movies in a year, he made about $100,000 per movie. If he made more than 2 movies, then he would have a 92% tax on any dollar he made. So he didn't work anymore. So he only made 2 movies, and that only took him 6 months. So instead, he's riding around the ranch with his wife. It wasn't Nancy, then it was Jane Wyman. She was the original Batgirl from the old Adam West series, but then she was also the matriarch from Dynasty. He was like, listen, I'm disincentivized to work. This can't be the American dream. This can't be the case. And so he purposefully went to office to say one simple thing. Hey, I don't think it's great that the government sees all this money because all the things that I'm working for, not only am I not getting more out of it, but I'm not able to even help other people. It just goes to the government. We don't know where that's going. So that was the issue with California back in the 60s. And then to this day, it hasn't changed seemingly a whole lot. The United States was founded, at least in part, on the revolution that happened for the Boston Tea Party. A 1% tax on tea. A 1% tax on tea basically was the formation of all of the people deciding that, we've kind of had enough of England. That was a 1% tax on tea. This is a 5% tax on the entire wealth of an individual simply because they've been successful. And I just think that's terrible. That is the opposite of capitalism. That is the opposite of freedom. That's the opposite of liberty. That is ridiculous just because someone's been successful. The amazing thing is Elon Musk has already left and he's pulling every single thing he can out of the state of California for those exact reasons. And we've already seen the same thing starting to happen in New York when you look at the Citadel founder and many other billionaires that are moving down to Florida or to Texas or wherever they're headed, simply because it's just not right. It's not good. So if you think about this though for a second, if you have $1 billion, then that means that $50 million then goes to the state of California. For what purposes? Now, they say it's going to be spent on healthcare, and it's going to be spent on education, and it's going to be spent on, what was the other thing they said? Food assistance. So basically, it will be consumed immediately, like out of the gate. Boom. And then there will still not be any other way for other people to make money on their own. It's just basically with assistance, just helping people out. Now, I'm not against helping people out at all. I think that's great. It's what we do with our churches. It's what our civic organizations do. It's what public schools are existence for. All these things are to help out us as citizenry. The crazy thing is that California is going to institute this, and I think all that's going to happen is California is going to bankrupt their system. It won't be the first time they've gone bankrupt, by the way. The state of California has gone bankrupt in the past and has been bailed out by the federal government and bond issuances. Okay. So the thing of it is that the rest of the nation is in a very serious peril if we don't learn from this, right? And understand we have to spend within our means. We have a $40 trillion national debt. So Elon Musk, for a few short days, was the world's only trillionaire. And the amazing thing is it would take 40 Elon Musks just to knock out the national debt. The point is, guys, we need to be very careful and we need to be very thoughtful about where our money is saved, how we've done it, and what can we do to make sure that we're protecting it, not just from overreaching arms of the government. That's not really it. What are the legal ways that we can safeguard ourselves to protect our money, period? And this is why so many people, they're looking at, should I consider a trust? If I'm looking at the tax bill, what should I really understand? Where are the real loopholes? Most people look at their 1040 on an annual basis and think that that's what they need to focus on. That's not true at all. What we need to be looking at is, what is the long-term goal? What is the long-term plan? Is it to keep more of that money so that you can spend it? Is it to make certain that your retirement is as comfortable as you want it to be? Or is a good portion of it to give to the next generation? Right now, with some of the lowest tax rates we have nationally, some of the lowest tax rates we've seen in years and years and years and years, you're still going to give anywhere between 20 to 50% up at your passing for your kids to inherit if they're in tax-deferred accounts. 20 to 50%. That's a lot of money. That's money that you could have had an extra pina colada on your last vacation. You could have gone and seen Kenny Chesney live in Nashville. You could have gone to Branson, Missouri and learned how to two-step. You could have done all those things with your money, but because, your money was left over after you were gone, it's just going to go to the government instead. There are ways around those legally, honestly, ethically, using the tax code correctly. And those are the things that most people want to know. Californians, man, let's hope that they don't make really disastrous decisions that we'll have a really hard time coming back from, right? Because what billionaire in their right mind is going to stay there? I don't care what political party anyone's in. If someone says, hey, I'm coming in to get $50 million from you just because you live in the state, I think for $50 million, they can buy a house in another state and probably like it perfectly fine. Just for the tax savings, they can change the residency. Why wouldn't they consider that? And so we're already seeing people do that flight from the overreaching arms of a socialist or a communist style government. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what Reagan talked about. We are the gleaming beacon on the hill, but at any given point, we are one generation away from not being able to protect that democracy. That's what we have to be vigilant about. And it is not about me telling you what to think. It's about us thinking, though, individually for ourselves and making those decisions. Our local council people, the people on the school board, the people in our local communities, those are the ones that are so important. Those are the ones we need to select wisely as good stewards of not just our money, but of our educational system in our nation. Because anyone that lives here and is an American citizen has every right afforded to them of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But at any given moment, enough people can decide whether it's the mass concept where the masses don't necessarily think well for themselves, or not enough critical thinking that things, unfortunately, go the wrong direction. So in our office, one of the things we're always trying to find a way to do, how do we make the tax code work in our favor for those moments of our life when we need it the most? And how do we protect it when we can't anymore because we're older or we're unable to do things? We want to make sure that the jurisdictions that we own those trusts in, or those limited liability companies, those family partnerships, or those things, we want to make sure that they're well versed in what we want to protect things. There are some states that you may not even live in that are much better to own assets in than others. What is the best place to own your company or to own your real estate through? Should it be in a trust? Should it be in a family LLC? Should it be in a limited protection trust, a domestic asset protection trust? What should it be and for what reasons? Because a lot of times people don't like trusts because they think they're complicated. Well, they are, but they're complicated for a reason. They allow us to exploit the tax code correctly and legally so that we can do one thing that most people can't do, which is control our assets long after we're gone. That is one of the greatest things that we can do if we have the right advisor and the right grouping of people. You typically need a quality CPA, a quality attorney, and a quality financial person all working together. And frankly, some of the most exclusive plans out there, you got to throw insurance in there too. You have to. Those 4 people, it's better if they're all working together. Instead of them working in silos, so much better if they work together to create an integrated plan to protect our money from all the nonsense that's going on in California and wherever else it's going to happen. Just because it's happening there now or they're talking about happening now doesn't mean it can't happen to any of us at any point in time. So if we've done well enough, or we have small businesses, or we have extra real estate, or we have a sizable portfolio, do the best we can to protect it while we're alive, but also once we're gone. That is super important. If we do that, we will be better stewards of our money, better stewards of this country than, unfortunately, many years that have just preceded us, many years has gone by. So that is one of the things to think about for all of us. Just because California is talking about it doesn't mean the rest of the United States will consider it. We have to be vigilant to stand for the things that we want to stand for, which is life, liberty, and the pursuit, not the guarantee, the pursuit of happiness.